Country Roads just did something no World Cup anthem has ever done before. It jumped sports, it jumped borders, and it literally jumped onto the music charts. Not for the original recording, but specifically because of what's happening in stadiums right now. Let's start with the moment that proves this thing has gone completely off script. Truist Park, Atlanta, Braves versus Phillies, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, 2 outs, the kind of tension that usually demands absolute silence from the crowd. And instead, the entire stadium breaks into Country Roads mid at bat. Not during a break, not during a celebration, during live play. The pitcher's winding up, and 30,000 people are belting out, "Take me home to the place I belong." Next pitch, walk-off grand slam. Braves win. The place goes nuclear. And now Country Roads has a baseball highlight reel moment that's going to live on ESPN forever. But here's what makes this actually significant. This wasn't planned. This wasn't a stadium operations decision. The Braves didn't pipe it through the speakers. The fans just started singing it because Country Roads has become what every sports marketer dreams of and can never manufacture: a spontaneous, crowd-owned ritual that spreads purely through cultural momentum. But the Braves thing, that's just the surface. Let's talk about what's happening on the charts, because this is where it gets genuinely unprecedented. YouTube's U.S. Top Songs chart, the one that tracks what Americans are actually listening to right now, just added Country Roads at number 100. Not John Denver's 1971 studio version, not a remix, not a cover by a pop star. The charting version is literally titled for Stadium Sing-Alongs. It's charting because people are watching and rewatching clips of crowds singing it. Think about that. A song is charting in 2025, not because of streams or downloads, but because of social media clips of crowds singing it in stadiums. That's never happened before. Not for Sweet Caroline, not for Seven Nation Army, not for any sports anthem in history. We're watching the first viral sports chant of the social media era hit the actual music industry. And that brings us to the part that should make FIFA executives either very proud or slightly nervous. Country Roads doesn't need the USA anymore. Czechia played South Africa and Kansas City. 0 Americans on the field. 0 direct connection to the United States as a nation. And midway through the second half, the Czechia supporters section, fully decked in red and white, waving Czech flags, broke into Country Roads, full voice, knew every word. The camera caught a Saudi fan in the section looking around like, "Are we doing this now?" And then he started singing too. Cut to the Spain-Saudi Arabia match in Houston. Spain's up 2-0. Their fans are having a great time. And what do they sing? Not a Spanish anthem, not a club song from La Liga. Country Roads in Spanish accented English, with Saudi fans in the next section joining in. There's not a single American element to this match. And yet, an American folk song from 1971 about West Virginia has become the soundtrack. This is the thing. The World Cup gave Country Roads a global platform, but the song has now outgrown that platform. It started with the USMNT's surprising run. Fans in American Outlaws sections belting it out after wins. The team singing it in the locker room. The whole cinematic underdog story. That gave it emotional weight and virality. But what's happening now is cultural escape velocity. The song jumped from the U.S. team to neutral fans, from the World Cup to baseball, from live stadiums to music charts, from American moments to genuinely international adoption. And here's why that matters. Sports anthems usually stay locked to their origin. Seven Nation Army belongs to club soccer and specific fan bases, as Sweet Caroline belongs to the Red Sox and weddings. Kerncraft 400 is a stadium EDM banger, but it's not crossing sports or borders with this kind of speed. Country Roads is doing something different. It's becoming the first truly universal sports anthem of the social media age, one that fans adopt not because their team or league told them to, but because it feels good to sing in a crowd. It sounds massive in a stadium, and it carries just enough emotional weight to matter without being exclusive to any one nation or sport. The MLB crossover is huge for one specific reason. It proves this isn't just a soccer thing. Soccer fans sing. That's part of the culture. But baseball crowds clap along to charge music and do the wave. They don't spontaneously break into multi-thousand-person a cappella folk songs during live at bats. The fact that it happened anyway means the song has reached critical cultural mass. It's in the air now. People know it, they want to sing it, and they're finding reasons to do it regardless of context. And for us at US Angle, this is the perfect bridge. The World Cup is winding down. We're transitioning coverage to the NFL International Games starting in September. American football going overseas. Foreign crowds reacting to a sport that's quintessentially American, but still trying to crack the global market. And Country Roads is the proof of concept. It shows that American culture can go global, not through force or marketing budgets, but through authentic, crowd-driven moments that feel participatory. If a folk song about Appalachia can become a global stadium anthem, what happens when the NFL drops games in London, Munich, and Sao Paulo with fan bases hungry for that same kind of communal energy? The song's not going anywhere. It'll be at Copa America matches this summer. It'll be at college football games in the fall. It'll probably show up at the Olympics. And every time it does, it's going to remind people of this moment, this summer, when a 54-year-old John Denver song became the sound of international sports in 2020. Country Roads outgrew the World Cup, and in doing so, it became something bigger than any single tournament could ever be.